Hey guys, this is JT here, and I'm followed again by Big O, Ryan O'Regan.
Hi. Notice my lovely glow that I'm able to show off here today.
Yeah, we actually put some cameras in, but we put no effort into the lighting. Uh,
Trial and basis.
but yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything with this is just an experiment.
But it's the second day of the experiment, which means the first one has survived well enough for us to be like, okay, we can try it again.
Yeah. Hey, we're not spending any money on this. At least nothing I haven't already blown money on.
Not to say I wouldn't invest if you didn't ask, but, considering I've got 2 jobs in the past couple of weeks that have been shit on tips, I can only offer so much. Like, if you want a can of soda, fine. If you want a 6-pack, we have to discuss.
I don't even know where to go from there because I wanted a 6-pack and you didn't bring one.
You didn't ask!
No, I actually also have to apologize for last week because I've known you now for maybe the last 4 or 5 years.
Roughly since 2013. Yeah.
So yeah, that's 4 years, I guess. And I've always thought your name was Ryan O'Regan.
It's a common misconception. I'm not going to lie. There have been plenty of people that have said O'Regan simply because they see R-E-G and they think reg, like regular. Mm-hmm. So they go along with it. But really, if you're an Irish person or if anyone of Irish descent, R-E-G is more Reg. And R-E-A-G, like Ronald Reagan, our former president, that's Reagan.
I don't know. I'm Irish, but I come from the Irish that screws that up all the time because I'm a Maguire, a Ma with M-A-G.
Yeah, you're just straight Maguire. You're not like McGuire, like with an M-C and then the capital G and all that other stuff.
Yeah, though everyone thinks it. I'll tell someone my name is Maguire. It's like M-C-G. Did you hear a fucking C in there?
No, you're Maguire, just like Joey Maguire. There's a simple thing like that.
But I wanted to apologize about that. And even worse about it wasn't until I edited the episode from last week that I realized that you corrected me twice. I only caught it at the end of the episode when you said it. I didn't like, oh shit, he said that at the beginning of the episode too.
It's quite alright. I mean, at least you got the first name right. At least you wouldn't call me Brian, which infuriates me to no end.
You get called Brian?
Yes, because when people tell me, hey, what's your name? And it's like, my name's Ryan. But because my voice is so low, they could easily just hear a B in there. And I guess for some people, Brian is more socially accepted because it's more common than just Ryan is, which I would never understand. But yeah, so it happens. I've learned to deal with it for my whole life. I know who I am. That's the important thing. I know me. Don't patronize me.
Oh crap, I just realized you had the better web camera. Like I'm like in slow motion, it's barely catching it, and then I come over here and it's like perfect motion.
Well, that's fine. For those of you who are not taking drugs while watching this show, focus on me. For those of you who are, focus on JT. That way we're good with both demographics.
There we go. Alright, so first topic, and I'm going to have to let Ryan follow the lead on this, is Mother.
Yeah, speaking of taking drugs, obviously because I am an employee at a movie theater whose name I will not mention, so this way there is no backlash, I do have the capability of seeing movies every so often, either as a guest and I'm able to go in for free, or just because constantly going in and out of the theaters, I get the vast majority of the film. And obviously, Mother is pretty much the de facto movie topic of the week because it has been so diversive. Now, that being, I kind of get what the story is because if you didn't have an idea about what the story was, you were pretty much just going off the trailers. And the trailers kind of had it like a horror movie. It's not a horror movie. Like, despite how creepy and scary and how many times they played in front of it when it came out, it's not a horror movie. If anything, it's more of a theological allegory sort of story.
And I'll have to ask because maybe most of our listeners won't have the same problem I have, but I don't know anything about Mother. It's like I think you brought it up last week during the podcast, and for some reason I was thinking that movie from like 15 years ago about the kids in the woods who get raised by some sort of creature. I don't know the.
Oh, that's Mama.
That's Mama.
Yeah.
That's why I was confusing Mother.
Well, the thing is, Mama was directed by Andy Muschietti, who is the guy who does It.
Really?
So that's why that came up. So that's probably where the confusion was. Mother is actually done by Darren Aronofsky, who, if you're any kind of cinephile, you know he's Requiem for a Dream is probably his biggest movie. And then things like The Fountain and Pi, things of those nature. Things that are not clear-cut storylines. They're not, because he is very abstract. So if you're going into a Darren Aronofsky film and you're seeing some weird shit, expect weird shit. Because that's what he does. It's very symbolic. It's very meta. And this is no different. But the thing is, the marketing would have you think this is supposed to be a scary movie and it's supposed to be akin to Rosemary's Baby and stuff like that, but it's not.
Well, for the people who don't know what this movie's about, can you give a quick...
A non-spoiler? Yeah, sure.
Basically what the plot is.
Basically, the plot is you have Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem as a couple that are living out remotely in a cabin. Javier is like a writer of sorts. Someone even could say a poet. And all of a sudden, while they're living in this home, she ends up having a guest brought to the home, played by Ed Harris. And Ed Harris is just like being invited, Javier's being a good host, and she's like, "Oh, okay, fine. We have a guest." Then all of a sudden, his wife comes, and that's played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and they're just like nosying around, being busybodies, stuff like that. Then a lot more people show up, like their children. They have 2 sons, and then their one son dies, and then there's a whole funeral that's hosted at the home, and she just starts seeing like visions of things and starts feeling, creepy things going on in the house. All leading into this whole big rigmarole that happens in the 3rd act. And again, I can't really spoil anything for you because if I tell you what the story is about, you're going to be upset. But you'll still have a better understanding going into the movie than, say, your normal moviegoer who just saw the trailers, saw the promotions, went in, and were like, what the fuck is this? But again, that's the marketing fault. That's the studio's fault. I think as far as what Aaron Aronofsky was trying to relay, it was well done. Without giving too much away, I would probably have to say, do you know my story that I did, the film Sunday Best?
Yes.
Yeah. There's certain parallels.
Wait. I don't know if most of our... I should talk into the mic.
It would help.
I don't think most of our listeners know Sunday Best, so I will try to explain that as well real quick.
Well, since we are all filmmakers and actors here in Jersey, our little grouping of people, back a couple of years ago, I did a film called Sunday Best. It was pretty much a religious comedy where you have a guy that stays home on Sundays to watch football rather than go to church with his wife, and he ends up getting visited by Jesus and Abraham and Joseph Smith and Zeus and Hera and Gaia, the spirit of the earth, and they all pretty much want to sit and watch football too because they're all atheists and agnostic.
Yes.
Yeah. So a subject matter like that is pretty diversive. It really splits the pack. And I think you're going to see a lot of that in something like Mother. Now, of course, this is something that Aronofsky knew was going to happen. He knew what he was making. So I would definitely go ahead, take an open mind. Don't go into it with any kind of aspirations of what the film's going to be about or what the film could be. Just go to the film, watch it, build up your own opinion. Let us know if you enjoy it or not, but definitely have your own opinion about the film as a whole. Don't think, oh, it's a terrible, scary movie. Because, yes, it is a terrible, scary movie. It's not supposed to be a scary movie, regardless of what the promo said. And it's a little infuriating, actually, that they're going to go ahead and just try to piggyback off the popularity of it. Because that was when the last trailer really hit. When it came out, the last trailer for Mothers were really being shown. And it was one of those, like, creepy ones. So it had, like, the voiceover was like, see the most interesting movie you'll see all year. I'm like, okay, they're really trying to build it up because it's been a long time since I've actually had somebody would do the voiceover and say, Mother, and have, like, all that stuff go on. That's like 80s sort of shit. But that was the approach they went for. And I think they kind of did Darren Aronofsky some disservice by doing that. So if you were interested in the movie, I say go see it. If you're not interested and you think it may be too weird for you, I still say go see it. Because trust me, it's going to be weird. It's going to freak you out. That third act is going to fuck you up. But I think you'll come out with a greater sense of clarity and a better sense of reasoning afterwards.
I'm probably gonna go see it, but so, a lot of movies are ruined. All right, I'm gonna stop real quick because I'm gonna move my mic to a place where I can better talk and look at Ryan.
No. Let's keep this in. This is the experiment. We are trying. My camera. Look. No.
Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna move this and not knock out our audio. All right, testing.
How does it sound? Good.
Yeah, you sound awesome. I sound like crap.
I mean, not gonna lie.
Well, if you really want to know.
Yeah, I don't know what. As a filmmaker, actor, all that sort of stuff, I have no ego. No.
None whatsoever.
No, of course not. I'm so humble.
Testing.
Yeah,
it's like you can talk from here and project. Like I have to get right up to this in order to hear myself.
Well, you can project. You can just let it out, man. Let it out.
Testing. I don't know.
It's like this is your home. It's like, mind you, we filmed from my home last time. Today we're in GT's home. So if anybody should be able to go ahead and project and be as loud as they want to be, it should be him, with the exception of being able to whether or not he bothers his roommate,
who is asleep at the moment. So try not to, at least.
Nah, but let it go, man. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Da da da. Let it go.
I mean, speaking of voices, one thing I found interesting this week, did you follow America's Got Talent at all?
No, I never follow America's Got
Talent.
Never? No.
Dude, my boy Chips Cooney's been on there like a couple of times, man. That Jersey comedy. But I found it really cute that the winner this year was the 12-year-old ventriloquist. And, of course, at the same time, Jeff Dunham just came out with like a new special on Netflix, which of course he films in Ireland, which are people. And apparently Terry Fator, who actually performed with this girl on the season finale, I mean, he's one of those ones that's like, people know him, but people don't recognize him like as much as Jeff Dunham does, because Jeff Dunham is like a bigger act. It's a bigger known act, but Fator, he's been doing it for like a longer time, just as long as pretty much Dunham has probably. So I really found it funny that they're going ahead and they're giving this girl like $1 million and a show in Vegas to do ventriloquism, which, let's face it, when we were growing up, ventriloquism was not exactly the most respected art form in the world.
I think today it's still not the most respected art form in the world.
I mean, okay, maybe not the most respected, but certainly like now has been like the prime time. Like the past few years, just really because of Jeff Dunham, a lot of people have been going ahead and they've been embracing it a little bit more. I've actually seen people who go in, like I actually have a friend up in New York, her name is April, and she's been doing ventriloquism for quite a few years, and she's just in like her late 20s now. And she's been on shows, but I mean for different reasons. Like she's been on shows like My Strange Addiction, because she collects a lot of those puppets. Like if a guy can't handle her having all the puppets, she don't date them. Like she's that hardcore about it. Like I remember once I think I tried to rent one of them from her for a show. She wouldn't let me because those are her children. Just like other people, they have fur babies that are like dogs and they treat them like children. I'm like, yes, but you feed the dog, so yeah, I can understand that. You clean up after the dog. I'm not seeing little felt puppets coming off the puppet.
I mean I've dated someone like that too, so I
you,
tried.
You dated someone that was with the ventriloquism or with like the puppies and everything.
With a similar fetish. Not even. I'm not gonna
fetish.
I'm not gonna.
You had to use the word fetish.
Yeah, it makes it a little worse. They were doll collectors. They didn't collect puppets, but they collected like the Barbie doll type stuff, but not quite Barbie doll. It was a whole bunch of other stuff. Everyone, I guess, has their hobbies, as long as it doesn't control your life.
Well, define and control your life. Like, I think, like with April, if you're going ahead and you're dictating potential lovers based upon whether or not they can interact with your soulless children.
Like, yeah, then that might be a
problem. I mean, she's a great girl, don't get me wrong, but That kind of stuff, like, if I ever was to meet somebody else that did that, it would worry me. Because at least I know she does it on a professional level. If someone just collects dolls and, like, has them all on the shelf, and I just happen to spot the one with, like, the really dead eyes that keeps peering into my soul every time I enter the room, and then for some reason it just moves off the shelf, I am leaving. I am not fucking with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of bending this down real quick. I'm still playing with my microphone for whatever stupid reason.
Again, for those of you who have drugs on you, check on JT's side. Oh, whoa.
And that's not my side. I think this is my side. There we go.
Pick a side.
Any side.
Red or blue.
1 2 1 2. All right.
Okay, now you're up there. No need for projection.
Now I don't have to be right up against the microphone. But somehow I'm I can hear myself on your microphone. Like I'm gonna have to build booths into my house to do this podcast.
Just got like one of those old Asian changing walls and just like put that up here.
Oh, I see what happened.
What happened?
So I have my gain up enough that you're not bleeding into my microphone, but because you're far enough back, I turned up the gain on yours. So I'm talking back here and I hear you on your microphone. So we're learning.
Oh, learning experiences.
I've only been a AV engineer for the past decade. So, still learning.
Good God Almighty.
It's more like the difference between working for a big company that provides you the space to work with versus
McDonald's,
your own home.
No.
I'm loving this podcast.
Oh, God help us if we actually use that for the titling, man. It's like we would get so sued, but at least someone would notice us.
Would we get sued just for using it in the video?
Like trademark infringement, put that on YouTube. It's like, you're saying enough to the jingle. You got to pay us now.
That's $50. Shit.
Yeah, which is essentially half the meals on there.
That's something I gotta check out at some point. Talking about movies, The Founder, which is now on Netflix.
Seen it? Yes.
I want to see it. It is on my list of stuff I'm gonna see, but I just haven't yet. But Michael Keaton just has been making a comeback, and I've loved the resurgence of his career.
He really has. Although it's still funny that no matter what he does, he's still a guy in wings.
I think that was he realized that joke as well.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously there was Batman, and even before that, I mean, he did like comedies like Gung Ho and Mr. Mom, which I love Mr. Mom. Don't get me wrong, but Batman was really like the big one to put him on the map, and then Batman Returns was a nice follow up. One of the few times the sequel was good as a follow up film. And then nothing, Herbie Fully Loaded, nothing.
Be fair, he has been in stuff, but he hasn't been in like the starring role. Like he was in that RoboCop film, but he played like the old man. No,
he wasn't the old man.
He played the old man.
He played like the Miguel Ferrer role, who was like the one who developed the actual guy. So, but the thing is, like, I think Miguel Ferrer, like his role in the original, it was kind of like a balanced role. He wasn't good, he wasn't bad. He was just like, let me put this on there. Let me make some money. Let me be the headshot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I liked it. It was so bland. But I think that was probably more just to the actor who played him, Kikkoman or Kockelman or whatever his name is, the same one that's on Suicide Squad and was just on the last season of House of Cards as like the person against Underwood. He plays a good bland white person.
If you need a bland white person, we have the guy for you.
Yeah, called anybody.
I actually didn't see the new RoboCop, which is now no longer new. I think it's 3 years old now.
2 or 3, depending.
I was excited when I heard they were doing a remake because I did love the original. I wanted more Alex Murphy. I wanted more RoboCop. But you could see that everything about this was just the average Hollywood reboot. It's like, what do the people want? Well, they like black, so he's going to be a black RoboCop now. And
yeah, very Black Robots Matter, of course.
But it's just like we're going to change the look so he's more sleek and this and that. And we're going to change that backstory because we can't have that same darkness that made the other one so great. The other one was so great for its grittiness and its dark storytelling. And this one was like the average, like, oh, he got injured and we rebuilt him, and there you go. And his family still knows about it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the original RoboCop, again, going back into religion, it was an allegory for Jesus. That's essentially what it was. There are some fan theories. There are. You know, he died to, for the protection of the city, and then was brought back and had very little connection with the Earth world around him until, he got woke, but still. And yes, I'm using the word woke.
That only makes me think of that Woody Allen film where the guy is like, well, of course this means this and this and this, and then Woody Allen takes the actual person who created it, and the guy looks at him and goes, you know nothing of my work. It's like, this means RoboCop is Jesus. And then, what's his... crap, I can't think of his name, and I'd like him as a director. The director of RoboCop, the original RoboCop, is just like, no, it's just meant to say that corporations are greedy.
Well, they are in that, yes. But you could look at corporations as like humanity, and the fact that they were trying to get one over. No, I'm not trying to dig into this. No fan theories here. But I mean, the thing about the original RoboCop was that, like you said, it was gritty, but it was to the point where it's like it was warranted to be gritty, because this was like a guy that just got his whole body shot up, and it wasn't like Rambo or Arnold Schwarzenegger where it's just he wanted to be as brutal as possible. He still worked within the confines of the law. It's just, yeah, every so often you gotta shoot through a woman's dress and shoot a guy in the dick.
Exactly.
It's like, I took away your weapon, both of them.
Drop your weapon or I will. What?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you can probably try to replicate that, but unfortunately, I think some stories like that would be more for a Netflix, Hulu sort of audience. I don't know if you'd even be able to get it into the mainstream now. They try, but then they go all PC and, like, try to be too futuristic about it and too sensitive, and I'm like, just shoot some people! Just shoot some evil people! That's why I'm going to, like, when Death Wish comes out. Death Wish with Bruce Willis, that looks like it's going to be good.
I think that was a story that meant a lot back in the 70s. I don't know if it means as much today. And even that, I'm looking at the trailer, I'm like, yeah, this seems pretty goddamn generic.
Well, it seems pretty goddamn generic, because how many movies have we had since that are like, you fucked with my family and I'm going to come and get you?
Exactly. I just don't think a death wish works in today's environment. It's back in the 70s, it meant something. Now it's like, well, that's been the storytelling for the last 40 years.
Well, the first one and maybe the second one meant something, but then you went to 3, 4, and 5, and that's when it got ridiculous. The canon films.
Well, I'm talking about the original. It's I'm just saying, like, that's a piece of storytelling that's been... I've watched the original Death Note, but I didn't get to watch it until...
Death Note?
Death Note. I'm sorry. That's that. No.
Hopefully you've seen the original Death Note, and what your views are on that film, I don't know.
I've not seen any Death Note, and
You've never even seen the anime?
Bits and pieces. Actually, here's the stupidest thing in the world.
Stupidest.
Maybe not the stupidest, but pretty bad.
Because we still got the Lego Ninjago movie coming out, so there's other stupid things.
Well, when I finally decided I wanted to watch Death Note, when I was like, and I didn't have like the Japanese copy or anything like that, so I was watching it when it came out on Adult Swim.
Okay, fair enough.
So I turned on Adult Swim, and it's the last 10 minutes of the very last episode of Death Note.
So you finally get to see it, and you've seen just how it all unravels.
Yes, everything is revealed. Everyone who dies, and this and that, and it's like, well, from my understanding, the big thing of Death Note is the cat and mouse game, is who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. Yeah. I know who's gonna win and who's gonna lose. So there's no story for me to get behind. It's like I'll watch and like, I know he's gonna win in the end.
Well, that was really the shakeup of the show, because if you just look at the first season alone, it's between Kira and Elle, and it's like, it's not even necessarily about good and bad. It's just a battle of minds between two very intellectual superiors. And, one has this supernatural edge, and the other one just has all the resources in the world given to him by federal government. And it's interesting to see who's going to outpace the other. And then when you finally see what happens, and then the second season happens. I'm again not trying to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen the original series. Obviously, the movie is one thing, the series is something completely different. But once you get to the second season, it's like, really? This is where we're going? No, go back to the first season. Go back to the first season. Leave things how they were.
Well, that's what happens. Sometimes when you drag something out, you can only go so far before it's like, I'm lost. You can't keep that going all the time. Another anime that I actually really liked, I don't know if anyone else likes it as much, Sword Art Online.
Haven't watched any of that. Only because it's like, oh, we're trapped in a video game. There are other ones that are trapped in video games that are more entertaining to me.
Alright, well, just to give a quick overview of it, it's great for the first 12 episodes.
Which most animes are before they get a second season, of course.
But it's like, basically, the basic plot of the video game, the show, is they are trapped in a video game, and it's life or death. If you die in the video game, you die in real life.
Right, because as are most things with video games, because, God forbid you just go brain dead or you, lose your memory or something. No, you literally die because somehow you ran out of purple pills to take. Like, what the frig, man? It makes you not want to play games.
But it's... I can't say any more without ruining the plot, but it's just after the 12th episode, it went from an amazing series to another .hack ripoff.
But, well, let's see. In comparison to the other shows, obviously we know there's been more seasons. They've put out enough merchandise on the stuff. Do they at least find a way to get out of the game yet?
Again, I can't say anything without ruining it.
But the thing is, as long as they stick with that same premise of they're still stuck in it, then fine. At least right. It warrants it.
I'm gonna count down to 5. So this is the part you want to skip. I'll try to put someplace on the screen where you can get past this part.
After this, the next time you see JT's hand up,
so
it's stop, mortals.
Yeah. Oh, when I put up my hand again, that's when you can start listening again. I'll try to put something here, say where you can listen.
Hopefully in time we'll have a little red stamp in the corner or something.
Here's the spoilers for Sword Art Online. All right. So they get out of the game after the 12th episode.
Okay. But then they decided to continue.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point. If you're going to go ahead and you're going to defeat the original premise of the story, and then you're just trying to build off of that, then of course it's going to fall flat because you're taking away what the original aspect was. Like with Attack on Titan. If they actually found a way of figuring out where all the Titans were coming from already, and they had a way of killing them as opposed to just, uncovering Eren's potential, then any episode ever since the first one's going to be stupid. Thankfully, they've been able to actually drag it out. But
right, we shouldn't move away from Sword Art Online while we're in spoiler mode.
Okay, fine. But as far as Sword Art Online is concerned, then that makes me want to at least watch the first season.
Yeah, but it's... So, again, we're in spoiler mode, so it is a great series. And the first 12 episodes, they are in sort of a Dark Souls-type video game.
Right.
Where they're leveling up, but now it's a life or death, so leveling up is a big deal, and getting to certain levels is a big deal. And then you start seeing how people interact with each other now that they know death is a thing. Mm-hmm. So it's the people who are still willing to kill people in the game to win, people who will just become merchants because they don't want to die, etc., etc. That aspect is so interesting, but after 12 episodes, and it's like they jumped, because they, if you ever saw the series, they're trying to get up this tower, and once they get to the top of the tower, they fight the big boss, and then they're out. But they get up to I think the 70th tower or something like that, and then out of nowhere the main character goes, wait, that guy hanging out with us, that's the guy who got stuck in the game. If we beat him, we'll get out. It's ha ha ha. And then just out of nowhere in this last 10 minutes, it's they have this big fight, and that's the end. And then they all get out of the game.
So then where does it pick up afterwards?
Afterwards is they had to figure out where to pick it up because they just killed the main attraction of this game. The main female character, and I apologize, I cannot remember her name right now, though I like the character. She is still stuck in the game for some reason. No one knows why, but they can't get her out. But everyone else is out of the game, including the main character.
But this girl is stuck.
She's stuck. But a new video game has started, even after this whole entire project where all these kids were stuck in this video game and where it could get killed. A new video game starts up, and everyone's going into that video game now.
And are they getting stuck in that one?
No, they don't get stuck in that one. But the main character, who was like the master of the previous game, has jumped in this one, and apparently the game is built off the engine of the one they were stuck in. So he's already a master of most of it. But unlike last time, if he dies now, he's not dead. He's just a regular player, and he's in the game trying to solve the mystery of what happened to this girl. But again, the death in there is not.
That makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Exactly. It does. And then I tried to get into the third season because so that's another 12 episodes, and then they get her out of the game, and yay.
So wait, so now everybody's out.
Yeah,
it's done.
Yeah, after 12 episodes, everyone is out, and then they accept this one girl, and then he finds out she's stuck in this other video game, so he goes in, finds her, saves her, and then she's out, and that's it. And now there's no more worries. And then there's a season 3.
At this point, just stop playing the fucking games.
Yeah, in season 3, now there's another video game, which is now a shooter video game. And one character is able to kill people in that video game, but it's not like you're stuck in the video game. It's just if you run this one guy, he'll kill you. And the government hires the main character to, we want you to go into the video game to find this guy.
Okay, now you're going to go Rambo True Blood, part 2, where he's, sent back from the prison. It's what the fuck, man? I'm guessing all these games are done by, the same manufacturer, the same company, or since they use the same engine?
I believe so.
Because I gotta imagine at some point these motherfuckers have to go bankrupt. There's gotta be some lawsuits.
I kept watching all the way to the first or second episode of season 3, which is actually called Sword Art Online 2, because it's actually season 2, but season 1 had 2 different sagas in it.
Oh, that's fine.
So it's really Sword Art Online 2, where what is really chapter 3, if that makes any sense.
It's manga. It's however they want to split it up.
But after the first 12 episodes, I stopped caring. I watched the rest of that series just because, I want to see how it... But I don't remember that half.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If it was me, and I was in a story like that, and I'm I have 12 episodes worth to actually go ahead and travel along with this person, because we're all stuck, and I need the help, and they need the help. And then all of a sudden, I'm going ahead, I'm getting myself to the top of the tower. I find out this motherfucker behind me who's been hanging around the whole time. I could just hack and slash him, and we'd be done. And I do that, and I get out, and for some reason she doesn't get out. Not my problem. Alright? You were supposed to be an adept enough player like me that you could get out too. As a matter of fact, what's the reason for her even not being able to get out? What's her story?
Okay, so to go into her... Well, that's another... that's a little drawn.
Well, I think we're still in spoiler mode, so it depends on if you want to divulge that. But I gotta think, either she's a dumbass, or, the reason that she was stuck there when everyone else could leave was almost too simple to ignore.
Well, I'll see how quickly I can explain this. So this character, she was a new gamer when she entered the game in the first part of it, the game that'll kill you.
Okay.
So she gets in there.
Wait. The game was called I'll Kill You?
No, the game's called Sword Art Online.
Okay. So...
Sword Art Online is the actual video game they all get stuck in.
Okay.
So she's there, and she's a non-vice player, and she befriends the main character. But in the episode they befriend each other, something happens where everyone turns their back on the main character, and he's fine, and he goes off on his own to be a loner guy.
Which is most male antagonists in anime. It's
yeah,
I'll just gotta do this by myself, and then you get friends.
And then you drop off from her for a bit, and then a few episodes later she comes back, and it turns out that she's become a really great player. Because even though it's 12 episodes, the way they pass this on is like a year or two actually passes in the real world.
But for that year or two, she wasn't with the main character the whole time.
Correct. And what she ended up doing at that point is she becomes like the second in command of the biggest guild in the video game.
Okay.
So she has now become a really good player. And they end up running each other again, but now they kind of are annoyed at each other for some reason. Or more, she's annoyed at him because he's really good, but he doesn't really help anyone.
Well, everyone turned their backs on him. I wouldn't help anyone either. It's like, fuck you, motherfucker.
But anyway, so eventually they start rekindling their friendship, and they actually get really close. And then the very last of the original 12 episodes, the villain, who turns out and again, spoiler mode, he is in charge of her guild, and he was also the creator of the video game, and he's the one holding them all hostage. The main character figures this out, goes after him, and what happens is I forget if she blocks him or what, but she gets killed. She's killed.
Okay.
And then at the very end, the main character is also killed, but he kind of fights it long enough to kill the other guy back.
Okay.
And that's the end. But because it's a video game, how it works, it's not like instant death for everyone. They're all wearing these helmets that will fry your brain once you lose. And when you lose initially, you don't just die. You're kind of brought to like this nega zone, this
like
purgatory.
a purgatory. Okay.
And you have to wait for the respawn. So imagine that. When you die in this game, you're like, life is over, and you kill... Like, if you commit suicide in this game, life is over. You have this purgatory for another 30 seconds. I'm like, well, now I have to count down when I'm actually going to die? Fuck.
It's like my life flashed before my eyes. And then I have 30 seconds left.
Yes. So now what you find out is they're waiting there for this 30 seconds, and now the creator is in there with them. And he says, well, okay, you know what? I'm going to free everyone here, and the game is over, and you guys get a pass.
So
Yay!
he could have freed them anytime he wanted to because it was his game and everything. But since he's getting stuck in there, he's like, okay, fine, I'll let everyone go.
Well, it's like, you defeated me. I was the final boss. You technically won. We're done here. And then the guy gets out of the game, and that's the end of the first 12 episodes. Is you're seeing him get out of his hospital bed, finally escape the game with his IV, is now looking for the girl, because they were kind of in purgatory together as the game ends. The next season starts, you find out that she is the daughter of the person who owns the company who owns the video game.
Okay, seriously, somebody's gotta get fired or sued on this shit, man. Come on.
And
that's some Batum shit.
And she's stuck in this video game, and no one can get her out. And this guy, who apparently also loves her, is the one who's keeping all the servers running to keep her alive.
Oh, how cute.
But it turns out he's the villain of that series.
Jesus fuck. There's no genuine guys in anime. There really isn't.
And he's keeping her hostage so he can get the money of this guy's fortune.
So he's holding her captive for ransom.
Yes.
Okay, but why is she stuck, whereas everyone else isn't?
He kept her in the game.
He purposely kept her in the game.
Yeah. He owns
out of love and money.
No, he doesn't actually love her. He supposedly loved her. And what it turns out is, I forget, again, this is where I stopped really paying attention, but I think it was like he was going to get married to her even though she's technically in a coma, and he would get this fortune or something like that.
Dude, that's some like Triple H, Stephanie McMahon shit right there, man. He's taking the server to Vegas, and they're eloping.
Again, it's like, people in the comments can say like, well, that's not really what happened. Again, I stopped paying attention at this point. I'm just trying to piece together what I remember of that part of the season. But again, it was a great series for the first 12 episodes.
It was a great season of a series.
Right. So, ending spoilers. Turn it back on here. I'll figure out where I left off. How long did I go on that? Almost 7 minutes? Okay, great.
All right, and now back to everyone else. This sounds stupid, and I can understand why people are pissed off that this show was popular. I really, really can. Like, it was bad enough when I was at Hero Villains Fan Fest this past weekend, and I saw there was like a sword booth. Like, people that constructed swords and blades and replica weapons and everything. They had so much sword art online stuff. It was like, is this really that popular? Because I personally don't care that much.
Maybe 5 years ago. It's they're still selling stuff for this.
Yeah, this one place out of Maryland, they were going ahead and they were selling replicas of that and stuff from Fate Stay Night and Fate Zero and stuff like that. Which, mind you, this is how authentic they were. They said Fate Stay Night, but they called it KNIGHT, and I'm like, there's no K. It's not a night. It's just night, like darkness, night. So know your material before you start selling stuff about it.
No.
But yeah, I saw that at the fest, which is a great fest. If you should have gone. It would have really been fun. And I see this stuff and it's like, this does not make me want to buy it because I can already tell authenticity. If you don't even know what to call it, I don't want it.
I used to work for Anime Next, and one of the beauties of working for them, at least for this one moment, was we have a lot of interpreters there. And some of these interpreters are actually the managers of the stars we bring in.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last few years I had worked for Anime Next, which was 2014 and 15, we got Trigger to come in. For those who don't know, Trigger are the guys who do Kill la Kill,
mm-hmm.
Gurren Lagann. And
the really sharp cartoony sort of anime where it's almost like Squatch and Stretch. It looks really good, but it looks so cartoony.
Yep, those ones.
Yeah, I like those.
And this is right after Kill la Kill came out. I loved Kill la Kill. That was one of my favorite series in a very long time.
Yeah, nothing like mothers that molest their children for power.
It's and finally someone takes the title away from Gendo. But the one guy, I don't think he was. I forget if he was the manager of Trigger or not for this, but he was Japanese. He worked, I think, actually for Sony,
mm-hmm.
and he actually had a. I don't know why I sound like crap right now. He had a official Kill la Kill Japanese T-shirt, and it was this really awesome fucking design. I'm like, I want that shirt. It's well, it won't fit you.
He said that?
No.
Oh.
No, what he actually said is, I know where I got it, and I have a card for them, and here you go. And I looked down and went, this is in Japan. And he's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. You might have to go online and order.
Yeah. You can convert yen, right? No. Well, you're screwed.
Well, there's an app for that, but...
Well, this was, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and there probably was an app even then, but I had to actually ask one of the Anime Next translators I was cool with, how do I do this? And she was trying to explain to me. I'm like, I'm lost.
I always wanted to go to an anime one. I've been to video game ones. I've gone to superhero ones. Obviously, Comic-Con, Hero Villains, Monster Mania, Chiller. But I've never gone to a strict anime one. And I feel like anime is the one time where you're going to get a lot more cosplay than, say, Comic-Con. Because Comic-Con, it's you get cosplay, but it's the same 5 characters. It's you have 40% Deadpool, 40% Harley Quinn, 20% everybody else.
You'd be kind of surprised. I mean, I did anime conventions for near a decade, and they have a lot of Deadpools and a lot of video game characters. What I've kind of seen of the convention scene, because going to the anime cons, video game cons, comic book cons...
Mm-hmm.
They all feel the same. The genre changes a slight bit, but for the most part, it's a lot of the same stuff.
Well, that's how I felt with this past weekend, because it was a smaller, lesser-known one, and you could tell just by the scope of the whole thing, because for those of you who don't know what Heroes and Villains Fan Fest is, it's pretty much a small enclosed show, pretty much devoted to the superhero shows that are on television. So strictly Gotham, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the shows on CW, the Arrowverse, all those. And it's, part of the reason it is because it's partially run by Stephen Amell, who is the Green Arrow on television. And it was one of those things where you had a specialized little stage area. You had the back area where there was autographs. You had the back area where they had the photo ops, and the few vendors that they had in the middle. And you could see everything just from entering the room. That's how small of a space, that's how open the space was. you could just tell where everything was. Whereas at like Comic-Con, if you go up to like the Javits Center here in New York, you've got at least 3 floors worth of things. You've got to take a map. You got to find your way around. You will lose people, which is part of the fun, because then it's just a whole big amalgamation of fans. But this, it just seemed so cookie cutter. Even though I did go ahead and pay the money to get my pictures with, Rose McIver from iZombie and Ming-Na Wen from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and, of course, Stephen Amell, because you have to. But then with that, everyone else is doing cosplay. You have no idea how many fucking Green Arrows there were. There was at least enough people to make sure that you had one person showing one outfit per season. Like, all the seasons were covered. Same thing for Black Canary. So same thing for like Malcolm Merlin, because John Barrowman was there. May he always be, my Captain Jack. And I think when it gets to that point and you're just seeing like the same cosplay over and over because it's the same group of people that go to this thing over and over, you kind of wonder what the resale value is. Like, would you ever go again? I don't know. See, at least with anime, there's so much anime. There's so many titles. There's so many books. It's so expansive. The animes keep going, and then the manga even goes further on than the anime does. So there's so much wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, but I mean, you could say that about comic books too. You can say like they're like how
Well,
DC has a humongous library of comic book characters. Marvel has a humongous library of comic book characters, and then don't forget about the independents and your images and your etc.
Well, that's why Comic-Con is good, because it's that big of a thing, and you have everybody included. This thing where it's strictly like the shows that are on television currently, slightly under the DC banner, that's really all that was.
But that is kind of what happens, I think, at all the fan conventions. I don't want to generalize the anime conventions, but like even at Anime Next, I could tell you I used to see more Doctor Who and Deadpools than I would see a lot of anime at times.
Doctor Who, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that. I mean, it's a simple enough costume, sure. I mean, you have 13 different doctors to choose from as to which version you want to go with.
Well, I forget what year it was. I think maybe 2010, 2011 when he took over. But when Matt Smith came in, there were a million 11th Doctor cosplays, all with the fezzes.
I love that fez.
I mean, if you go someplace a little bigger, like Otakon, which is the biggest on the East Coast for anime, there was like a ton of Doctor Who's to the point that they had a meetup to get all, at the time, 11 doctors together. But most of the people
I'd love to see the one who was like
Doctor.
Christopher Eccleston. I'd love to see the one who was like number 9. Because that may have just been like a bald guy with like a leather jacket. And it's like, come on, we gotta get you in the picture. It's like, why? What am I doing here? Why are you dragging me into this? It's like, you're a doctor, aren't you? It's like, no, I'm a janitor. What the fuck, man?
Actually, my favorite was not even a doctor. It was Jamie from what's the name of that TV show?
Jamie.
Yeah, for the Mythbusters. Jamie from Mythbusters.
Oh, okay.
Walking around with a sonic screwdriver. Trying to find out the mysteries of the sonic. Can it really fix anything?
Honestly, I figured like Adam Savage would probably be a better costume, really. That beard alone.
I don't know. Unless no. I'm screwing them up. The Adam's the one, the bald one, right?
Yeah, I thought he was the one with the beard and the glasses and the hat sometimes.
I confused him. So Adam. It was actually
Adam. Okay, yeah. And Adam Savage is like a character looking in his right, and he's still sporting it. So I mean, I see him still doing like appearances here and there, and he's still got that look, man. It's like Neil deGrasse Tyson with a mustache. It's like if you ever get rid of it, it's not gonna be you anymore.
I do watch that show once in a while, but I suck with names, so I apologize about that. All right, we have around 10 minutes left. I could talk conventions all day, but
holy hell! Like we've already gone up to like 40, 50 minutes.
Yeah, we're at 50 minutes.
God,
we're technically. I won't say because I'm doing editing, but we're around that mark at some point. So
okay, yeah. Obviously, depending on what gets edited, we can obviously shut some things down because we went over on the last one.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, was there anything else that you were wanting to dive into? Anything on your end, comic book wise, video game wise? Throw something at me.
Let's talk about the Orville.
Okay, which I have seen. I have seen the first episode. I've seen the second episode, and I know they've changed the night already. It's not on Sundays anymore. It's going to be on Thursdays, which is a bit of a dramatic move when you're just starting off a show.
Yeah, but you know it's funny. When the first I heard that, it's like, oh god, it's already begun. They're already going for the death kill. But some others are saying no. This was always in the plans. We only wanted it really on Sunday for that little while until we moved the night. But yeah, I don't think that's, in my personal opinion, it's not a good sign.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I can understand why they wanted to do it on Sunday because it's Seth MacFarlane, and Seth MacFarlane has had his bread and butter on Sunday nights. You know, part of the animation domination block.
Yeah, in fact, when was it playing? It was playing when his shows play.
Right.
At 9 p.m.
Right, so that would be normal time for, I think, Family Guy.
Oh, so maybe Family Guy is premiering. Well, probably not. It's probably still being animated right now, but
right. But the animated shows have been starting later and later. In fact, most of the fall stuff actually has been starting later and later. I remember back when everything would start like the beginning of September, like right after Labor Day. You had school start. You had the new television season start. Everything was synchronized. Now, you're pushing all the way things back to October, and then there's the mid-season replacements, and then. You know, even if it starts in the fall, it may only be 13 episodes because they got another show starting later on. That's going to be another 13 episodes. Yeah. They're really like breaking it all up now.
Yeah, and that could be a topic upon itself. It's just, but just to keep on the Orville real quick.
Yeah, I have a tendency to just go off tangent.
No.
I apologize. You look at me and I'm saying sorry. Now you actually can see that I'm sympathetic.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry, Daddy. No, don't beat me with the bell again.
But I just want to kind of keep on topic on this because people's like, "Ooh, he's going to talk about Orville," and then we're like, totally jump away from the Orville, like sons of bitches. Then again, we're talking about this as we're already past 3 episodes, so I think you all have an opinion probably on the Orville anyway already.
Well, what's your opinion so far?
I am a mix on it. I can only go by the first episode. I haven't seen the second one yet, unfortunately.
Which I have seen the second one, have not seen the third one yet.
When I started watching it, I was like, okay, this seems pretty good. I like it. And then after 10 minutes, I'm like, I haven't heard any real jokes. The few I've heard kind of fell flat. This feels like I'm watching an alternative version of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Like a fan film, almost.
Yeah, it felt very much like Star Trek, like everything. It was almost as serious as Star Trek, again, with just a few exceptions. It's like if you replaced Captain Jean-Luc Picard with a drunk. I guess he's not a drunk in this, but he's.
Well, I mean, we don't know William Shatner behind the scenes, but.
But, like, it has potential, but I don't think they know where they want to go with it, from my understanding.
No, I mean, that's pretty much the feeling, because obviously if you're talking about somebody that's like Seth MacFarlane, you have a pretty decent history of what he is usually giving you as far as entertainment. You can look at Family Guy, you can look at American Dad, you can look at Cleveland Show, you can look at Ted and Ted 2, you can look at A Million Ways to Die in the West. He is a raunchy kind of guy. And you look at something like the Orville, and you're not really getting that. You're not getting the full-fledged humor that you could get from him. It's like he's holding back. It's because he's trying to make sure that the show's taken semi-seriously. And I think that's hurting it.
I believe the same. I believe trying to make a serious show when people are expecting a comedy is not good. And even then, it's very bland. I don't think it's gonna. But here's my worries, because I've been around for a few years at this point. I've seen
30 some odd, I'm sure. Yes.
I've seen the history of Fox. And let's see. They had Josh Whedon, who created Firefly for them after hits like Buffy and Angel.
Which in itself was a sci-fi sort of show with bits of humor, but it wasn't anything major.
But was immediately canceled because it was a lot of money to make and they didn't feel it was doing well enough in the ratings. Ben Stiller, who had just proven himself with Something About Mary, created a new plot for them, and Fox looked at it and went, well, this is not going to be successful, and didn't make any more. Okay, that didn't fit as much into the mold here, but I'm just, for me to say, there have been successful people who have come forward with ideas for shows, some who have gotten them greenlit, and Fox only puts as much effort as they need to in it. What I can look at from the Orville is there was a lot of money put into this show.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of special effects. There's a lot of real life props, and it's like I don't think Fox is going to keep doing this if this show is going to start failing. And at this point, like I like it, but I don't love it. Like I'll watch it if it's on and I have nothing else to do, but it's not going to be one of those, oh, I have to watch it this week. And that's eventually going to happen if they keep going this direction.
Well, I mean, that was the problem I kind of had with the first episode. I mean, yeah, a lot of the jokes could have gone farther. They could have added more humor to it. But the thing that really got to me was, like, in the first episode, when the captain, Seth MacFarlane's character, Ed something.
I can't, like,
Which that's already a bad sign. Like, his first name's Ed. You know? Doesn't really command a lot of power, you know? You know, James T. Kirk, Jean-Luc Picard, even Captain Janeway. You know, but Ed. It's a fucking horse. But when he's going ahead and he's in, like, the cargo bay with, like, all the senior officers, and he's, like, running down the list of who he's got, and it's pretty much like a small little diatribe about what each person is. I'm like, yeah. Really? You already have to go ahead and spell out who these characters are rather than us just going through the process and learning about them almost fluidly as the story pertains to it. But instead, you're going ahead and just throwing these, you know, one-piece cookie-cutter sort of typecasted things at us. It's like, oh, okay, so we're just going to just take it at face value, you know, rather than really uncover things about them. And that annoyed me. That was like, we're not that dumb. We've seen enough shows like this. Obviously, you can go ahead and just let things fly. You didn't have to explain to us in Family Guy, oh, well, the dog can talk. Yeah, we found that out. We figured it out. The baby was a little bit of a sadomasochist and possibly gay. You didn't have to say that. You couldn't even tell that the baby was talking. We just found that out on our own. Oh, wow, they don't really hear him, do they?
No. And there's other little things, too. Like, and this will be a filmmaker remark. Did you happen to notice that there'll be action scenes, or at least scenes with no dialogue and drama, and the music will come up, but the music is, like, at a very low level? So it's, like, it's not distracting enough to, like, realize, like, what's going on? I'm bored.
Yeah, you just think it's, like, background music as opposed to something that's actually setting the theme.
Right.
Because obviously he wants it more focused on what they're saying and the pew, pew.
But this will be a scene where no one's talking, so it's like, why did you even bother to add music if you're adding it this low that we barely notice?
Not to mention some of the scenes you're walking through and it's unnecessary. It's like, okay, they're going in for a joke, but then the joke is just dull and pertains to nothing. Like when they're in the first episode, when they're going through that big science building, and they see that kind of like water monster that's like running through the thing, and it pops up, and they're like, oh, what creature is this? Did you make this? It's like, oh no, that's one of our doctors. I'm like,
and then it's never referenced.
That's
again.
It. Imagine the money spent on the CGI just to create that little amoeba-looking thing, and this is what you did it for.
I don't even think he spoke.
Same thing when they're on the fucking ship, and he's running through the hallway because he found out who his ex-wife was going to be his second in command. He's running through the damn thing. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Runs through the little gelatinous blob that apparently can talk, voiced by Norm Macdonald, and then that's it. Trust, I will tell you right now, no spoilers, you do not see him in the second episode. He is not a major character.
He has to be appearing at some point. You can't waste Norm Macdonald on that one scene.
But you wasted Norm Macdonald on one episode of Family Guy, and then every time Death's been back since, you really didn't use Norm Macdonald to voice him.
Yeah, you used Adam from The Man Show.
Yeah, so it's like, really? This is what you're putting this money into? And that's the thing.
Wait, I hope they bring that character back now.
Yes.
But he's voiced by Adam now?
Oh, if he does that, okay. If he does that, then fine. All credit to them. They're as meta as fuck. But that's my problem. Because they could really go so deep. They could go so left with this show. If you actually look at Fox and you look at the history of the shows that have made money for Fox, if you look at the things that have been popular, it's things that are very risque and very taboo. Married with Children, In Living Color, X-Files, The Simpsons when it first came out, because it was talking about a lot of things that it couldn't. Melrose Place, 90210. These were shows that had a lot of topics that we couldn't talk about, had a lot of situations, some of it scantily clad, especially in Melrose Place, that you wouldn't see elsewhere on television. And now we're so fucking PC that a potential hardcore sci-fi series that could talk about a lot of things, both politically and spiritually, and we're getting fucking blobs voiced by Norm Macdonald that are probably going to only be in one episode. This is what it's come to.
Yeah, my personal opinion on this, and it's not that I want to see it go this direction, but I don't think the show is going to last very long.
Oh, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Or if it does, he's going to do like he did with American Dad and just sell it to TBS.
Oh, is that what happened? Is American Dad now on TBS?
Yeah, they still make new episodes, but it's not on Fox.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it. This is how... I canceled my TV very long ago, and I don't have an antenna, so I have not been paying attention to broadcast television.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Obviously, they're going to even try to bring back other television series, but even though Bob's Burgers is probably like the best show they have now on Sundays, because that just won an Emmy, so good for them. And Simpsons will never die. Family Guy will stay the course. They're actually talking about bringing back King of the Hill.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was the show that like it lasted so long because people just weren't paying attention to it.
Well, then I think the South liked it more so than like, say other parts of the country.
Yeah, but it had a shitty time slot and stuff. And how long was it? Like 14 years it was on the air?
Well, not 14 years, but certainly it was past 5. I think it was like 8 or 9.
Yeah, it definitely went over a decade.
I don't know if it went... Hold on. See, this is the beauty of doing something like this, because I can just check IMDb, and I can see exactly how many seasons they went ahead and had, and I can make sure we have a definitive answer, like looking like people that have done their research.
It may not have been 14, but I'm fairly confident it was over a decade.
No, if anything, Family Guy's probably over 14 and everything, because that premiered around year 2000, because they had that whole Y2K episode.
Well, yeah, they're over.
But King of the Hill hasn't been around as long, because I think that was
it was 97.
Yeah, but then it's not up to now.
Yeah, but I think it ended in 2010. Or around then. So that was 7 years ago. 8 years ago.
Hold on, okay. 1997 to 2010, but how many seasons?
That's always the question. Seasons. Because they never got canceled.
Oh yeah, 13 seasons. And the last season was a full 24 episodes. And then 22 episodes. This is where it gets funny. Season 11 was only 12 episodes. Season 10 was only 15 episodes. 9 was 15 episodes. So that's how they get you, especially when it comes to animated shows, because it's not going to be like a full 20-something episodes.
Yeah, they were only being shown in at 7 o'clock. But again, they never got canceled. They were still on the air.
No, they never got canceled like Family Guy did, because that got canceled once at least.
Yeah, it got canceled in 2003 and it was brought back in 2005.
Right, whereas Family Guy, that got canceled twice. Technically 3 times.
Not
a Family Guy, Futurama. My apologies.
Yeah, Futurama got canceled, and no, twice. It was only twice.
Well, I mean, you could say that the last season was technically canceled, because, I mean, they're still doing things now. Actually, they just did, The Nerdist just did a podcast episode with the cast of Futurama.
That doesn't count.
It's semi-canon. It's semi.
But it's not considered a season. Like, I don't consider I consider the movies canon, but I don't.
Which is this whole series in itself. That's like a whole season if you actually put it back to back to back.
Well, which is how they broke it up. I think they said each one of those episodes was each one of those movies was 4 episodes
roughly
as part of another season. But in reality, it's like I consider the series really the original run on Fox and then the second run on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
And then the movies were in between that run, and I guess whatever this podcast is considered by Matt Groening.
Well, I mean,
I think
I think they used it more as pretty much just a launching pad for the new mobile game, Worlds of Tomorrow, that they're now putting out. Mostly because they also had Chris Hardwick as a character in the game now, and they made him a character on the podcast. So I mean, you grease the right wheels, you get another episode.
I don't want, to be fair at this point, I don't want them to make another episode, besides the fact that I think it's gone as long as it could, and it was a great series. I think they had the perfect end. It was a perfect ending.
It was cute. It was romantic, yeah. But that was pretty much just the end for the Fry, Leela, will they, won't they story.
Yeah, but in the end, it's pretty much come back with me to restart, and that's pretty much a reboot of the universe.
Right, which if you see the podcast, you see that they're together. So it's probably following that.
I'm still saying that. In my personal opinion, I think they ended on the best note, and they should leave it at that.
That's fine. That's fine. But I mean, who's to say? They've already had to, bring it back, one way or another. So I mean, now that there's multiple types of media and entertainment, and it doesn't necessarily have to be hand drawn, who knows what they'll come out with?
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a whole future up in the podcast, and they'll just do it like
They'll
the
do a
old timey
Tick.
radio episodes, which is pretty much what this one was.
They'll do what the Tick did, and just like a whole live action series.
Which I still have to see that.
Great series. We'll talk about that in the next podcast. So we're actually, I'd say we're out of time at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be some heavy editing by JT, I'm sure. Which
Yeah,
I
but-
apologize for giving him too much material.
And actually, one thing I love about this podcast, and the reason I'm doing this as opposed to many other projects right now, editing for this is just me listening to us again and going, yes, no, yes.
That no was probably me going off on another tangent.
Nah, probably not. It's probably me saying something stupid. It's like, you sound so intelligent. That's because I removed all the stupid stuff. But yeah, that's any final thoughts on anything?
There's stuff I can get into with the whole King of the Hill reboot, because there's going to be a whole series of that. But obviously, I'll save that for next time, when obviously I'll probably have a couple more movie reviews to talk about, and I'm definitely going to want to get into the whole, not reboot, not remake, but the retcon saga that's going on right now in cinema.
Okay.
So it's something to look forward to for all you people that are listening to the very end, trying to figure out, do I want a third episode? Yes, you do. Because now you can see us. And now, next time, we'll even be lit. Not like lit, like, I'm not going to be as dark. No drugs. No drugs yet. Yet. I say yet.
It depends how ambitious I am. Then the third episode will come around. It's like, where are the lights? And it can be like, lights. And I just killed my audio here.
So basically, while he's going ahead and fixing that, do go ahead, take your time to share this with other people, comment if you like, give us topics to talk about, and again, like I said last time, if it's something that we find interesting and we want to talk about it, we certainly will. Otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and jabber as best we can. And now you can see us jabber in full audio-visual clarity. Well, I mean, my clarity. He still looks like what you would look at if you had too many shrooms, and he's just like all blurry all over, but it's as good as we're going to get right now. So hopefully you enjoy it. And until next time, I'm Ryan Big O Regan.
And I'm JT. And we will catch you next time.
Hopefully.
Bye. I didn't stop yet. Bye.